Hi, everybody. It's so beautiful to be able to see you all like this. I know we're having a bit of simultaneous translation, so I was told to speak slowly. So I know that so many beautiful people are coming into a state of open mind and open heart, which is such a beautiful state to be in. And I know that many people are really concerned now about global warming, climate change, things like this as well. And this last weekend, I had the opportunity to see the documentary 2040. Have you seen it yet? Has anyone here seen it? No? It's not been released? Okay. It's done by an Australian man, and he also did that sugar film. Has anyone seen the sugar film? No? That's another fabulous movie to have a look at. And I mention this because as I was watching this documentary called 2040, it's a focus on using the resources, the solutions we have already to completely eliminate all global warming and climate change difficulties by 2040, just using the resources that we have at hand. And I was thinking, yes, Big Pranic helps with that. If we can, as we are doing, just lighten up our diet and listen to the voice of our body. If we can maybe even reduce our physical food consumption by just half, just by 50%, and if we could do this safely, what impact would that have on our global environment? For me, it's like, wow, we can contribute so much and so easily. Then they were talking about, I've been doing some research or looking at some research with the 5-2 reality. Do you know, many people, they're taking physical food for 5 days a week, and then for 2 days, they're not taking anything at all, because the research is saying that if we do calorie restriction, our bodies heal so quickly, and we avoid a lot of diseases, and it improves our health and longevity. Now, being chronic isn't about that. We already share with you about the possibility of the joy, should I say, the possibility of when we are fully pranic or on the way to using this internal resource, what a difference it makes to our health, and also what a difference it makes to our global environment. And we have this free resource. So tonight we just wanted to talk a little bit about the benefits of just even the whole journey of playing with energy, the journey of being pranic, the journey of opening up to this inner resource. So benefits, wow. We know from doing it nearly 3 decades now, we know that people, as they play with this source energy, as they open to allowing this energy to be more dominant, more strong, to really flood through their body, we know that people just get healthier, they get happier, they get more clarity, more mental clarity, they very rarely get sick, they need a lot less sleep, which is an amazing benefit, and that's just symptoms we notice on the way to being fully pranic. And what is interesting is I've watched for decades now people going through their own individual journey with this, and everyone has come to the same conclusion that while it's possible and while it's so important that we be living examples of someone who is strong, healthy, energized, good, stabilized weight, peaceful, happy, all of it, that we also know that perhaps our world isn't quite ready for this. But we are opening pathways, and so it's so important for you to play with energy and find your perfect pathway to this and record it. When we began years ago, we just asked people to write, record, have a journal, write books, so that eventually we might have hundreds of different books of people's journey and formula and methodology for being chronically nourished. Because everybody has this resource within them. Everybody is actually built to be nourished. Everybody's built to be self-sustaining and self-regenerating. So we have this capacity when we're ready and when we're open. And, for me, recently I lived on the Sunshine Coast in Australia, and we had two people visiting here. First, we had the Pranic Festival, the very first Pranic Festival in Australia, and we had maybe, I think they said maybe 40 people or something like that come, who were very sweet and very open-minded, and Nicholas, no doubt, can talk about his experiences there. And then, not too long later, we had Dr. Joe Dispenza. Well, he worked people hard for 7 days. They were willing to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and stay together till 9, 10 o'clock at night and go through some very intense processes working with neuroscience and recoding and reprogramming the system. They had over 1,000 people there. So here we have 50 people, 50 people. Here we have 1,000 people. And what does that tell you? It's about what our world is ready for. So we're at the very beginning of a new wave of change that is going to bring in a completely different way of being, a freedom. And this is one of the things we wanted to talk about tonight, about the benefits. Yes, it's wonderful. We don't need much sleep. I lie my body down to sleep some nights, and 10 minutes later it's like, I'm awake, and it's like, no, go back to sleep. I like to dream, but the body is like, no, I've had enough. And so then you have so much time to play with. Are you ready for that? Maybe you'll have 23 hours a day to play with. Then you have no cooking, you have no shopping, you have no meal preparation, you have no cleaning up of dishes or things like that, because these waves of energy are there all the time, just flowing through us, feeding us. We just got to flip the mindset open to this possibility, because it's already there. It's already happening for us all if we want it. So you have this not needing much sleep, you have great mental clarity, you have a lot more time because you're not involved in having to do a lot of the things people have to do to take care of the body. And what I love is the benefit of traveling. You know, I've been traveling for 26, 27 years, living 6 months, 8 months on the road. I'll go to countries like Russia and China, and next week I'll be in the Wudong Mountains in China, which is the home of the Qigong masters and the home of the teachings of Lao. Because in China we've been sharing a lot of our research, the difference between Bigu and what they do and the difference of what we're experiencing in the West. But the joy when I go to Japan or Russia or China is I never have to find a supermarket. I never have to get somebody to translate a label on something I want to buy and eat because I don't know what's in it, because I don't need it, so I have to go to supermarkets. So imagine this sort of freedom too, that you have the freedom to just choose. And there needs to be no rush for this, just to know it is a new way of a new way that's also ancient of using resources differently, because we have this inner resource. And it's not a path of curiosity, it's just a path of openness and organic transitioning and love. And you know, we put this free online series together for people so we could share easily just the basic things like, right now, what's your physical body prana percentage? Right now, can you find out, can you test, can you maybe use that little simple kinesiology test we often share with people, where you make a statement as if it's true, and if the circuit here holds, then it's true for you. But if it breaks, then it's not true for you, because your inner being knows everything about you. So you can immediately find out where you're at right now. Like, prana now provides more than 50% of my physical body nourishment. Make that statement. Come on. Put together in the mouth. Take this one. Prana now provides more than 50% of my physical body nourishment. Do the fingers hold and you pull against? More than 50%. Yes? How many did you get yes? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. More than 60%. Prana now provides more than 60% of my physical body nourishment. More than 60%. Is it breaking? Some of you? Yeah, now you know. So here you can keep testing more than 70, more than 80, more than 90, 100, yeah, I'm strong. So what does that mean? Whatever you tested for means you can give a gift to Gaia now. You can immediately and safely reduce your physical food consumption by that amount, just safely. So imagine if we just aimed short term for the 50-50 game. So instead of taking the 3 meals a day, you go to 2 meals a day. Instead of taking a larger plate, you take a smaller plate, and you slowly reduce this. And then you start to change mindsets. And this is something we wanted to share again today, or more of, is the journey also requires, one, knowing where you're at. Because you know right now how well your current lifestyle is working for you, That means if it's really working well, then you'll have a good primary percentage. So your lifestyle is about, for us, your lifestyle is about merging, it's about oneness, it's about unity with the source of energy that gives you life, that is flowing through you all the time, that can take away your hunger, that can feed you. And when it's strong enough, you naturally lose your physical, emotional, mental, and even spiritual hunger if you have them. And that's an amazing benefit. Imagine we have people in our world who aren't hungry anymore. No physical hunger, no mental hunger, no emotional hunger, because we are self-complete. We are in a balanced state. We have a source energy, that our pure nature energy is dominant in our body. And that's what our journey with pranic consciousness is about, the elimination of all human hunger. And so as we drop back more to this pure nature through our lifestyle, the more this essence, this energy that breathes us, the more that it is dominating the biosystem, the freer we become as human beings. So then we have this choice, this educational program to say, hey, you have this energy within you, and it can take away all your hunger, and it can feed you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you're still interested in physical food for pleasure, you can take it for pleasure, but you're not taking it because you believe you need it, because you've proven to yourself that you have this freedom. So, the benefits. Many, many benefits, as I've said, for me in my life. I love it. I just love the freedom it brings. You're just free. Just free. Because you're just not hungry. You're not mentally hungry. And that is something that I don't think people talk enough about. That you get into this vibrational state because as your pure nature, as this essence energy really rises within you and becomes stronger and stronger, then you just find that everything you need comes to you without effort. Anything you understand or know, you'll be given the information just like that. There's a grace to this, there's a magic to this, and you end up feeling so loved and so well supported because you're dealing with this energy that I call an infinite benevolence. This energy that is so wise and so loving and so pure is just everywhere. It's in us, it's around us. We just breathe it, we open to it, we start with this feeling of let me feel, let me know, really know who I am at my core. Not my egoic personality self, but my pure essence nature. Let it rise, let it guide me. I'm open to be in deeper union with this energy. And two, I open to all its gifts. Can you say yes to this? Yes. And when our hearts go, yes, then this benevolence goes, yes, here's another one who really is ready to experience who they really are. And so this is a big change in mindset, because the pranic journey requires some really strong mindset changes. The first one, know it's possible. All around the world, people are experimenting, applying different methodologies. Over 85,000 people now have this freedom that I know of. lot anyway, from what I'm told. And they're doing it in their way, in their journey, because this is something I believe that we pre-encoded for before we took embodiment. Now, I might have some belief systems that seem strange to some of you, but you know, I've been meditating for 45, 46 years, and you have a lot of interesting experiences with long-term meditation, different insights, and mainly just experiences. And one of the things that I've experienced a lot of is the multidimensional nature that we all have and the connections we make when the multidimensional nature is revealed. And the more of this pure nature that we experience, essence nature, then the more we experience our multidimensional nature, and the more we connect with consciousness that is anchored in what I call the unified realms. And this being nourished by prana in the West, that came through a network through the 21-day processes, and it came from people being in prayer. It came from people like me when I was a kid saying, surely we can take care of the children of the world. Surely we can eliminate global hunger. Surely there's an energy to improve health. Surely people can get healthy, get happy, live in harmony, distribute resources a little more wisely. So that was my prayer when I was a kid. You know, it just made sense to me that something like that was available. But millions of people have been asking these questions. Millions of people, more so than ever before, have been saying, can't we live in peace? Can't we live in unity? Can't we live in harmony? Can't we honor Gaia? Can't we look after Mother Earth? Can't we use resources a little more wisely, like in the 2040 documentary that has a very clear solutions that we have right now, that by 2040 we can eliminate all climate change issues. We can live very, very differently on this planet. And I love that. That's fantastic. But here we have a new solution that's ancient also coming in, and that is for people to be able to tap in. Drop back, just relax back to pure nature. And many of you guys, I believe, you pre-encoded before embodiment to play this game, this life, to be the way showers, to be open-hearted and open-minded and be prepared to experiment. So I love the work of Joe Dispenza and his big gatherings here and around the world, and I love neuroscience, and I love Bruce Lipton's work, and I love universal law that says whatever we believe we bring into being, whatever we give our energy to, our feeling to, our thoughts to, is going to be real for us. And I notice this in darkroom. You know, every year we have so many people come to experiment with dropping back deeper, 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 coming into deeper union with pure nature. We stop the physical food intake. We hook everything up to the pranic levels. You know, and take a breath. Take a breath. One pure breath. Here you are in Italy. Here you are in the countryside. Here you are in a beautiful high chi field. And when you breathe, what are you breathing? So much more than oxygen. When you go out in the sun, squint in the light, and when you squint your eyes in the sunlight, how many of you have seen thousands and thousands of pinpricks of light? All the time. That's prana. That's chi. That's cosmic particles. So here you are in a high chi field that And Qigong masters in China, where I'll be in a few days, they've been using this Qi, cultivation of Qi, being in Mother Nature fields, the use of Qigong, playing with energy to the degree that their systems are so saturated with Mother Nature Qi that they discovered 6,000 years ago that they weren't hungry anymore. If they did their Qigong practice and they did their time in Mother Nature, in silence, stillness, they just found they were free. They didn't need this game anymore, or they needed less and less and less, and the less they took, and the more they worked with Qi cultivation and tuning to this inner Qi and cosmic Qi and galactic Qi, and then going deep into the inner source of Qi, this essence energy, this energy that breathes us, this energy that loves us, this energy that guides us, this energy that is with us all the time, just vibrating all the time through us. And this is why we recommend meditation, and many people who successfully do this, they meditate. We drop into silence, we drop into stillness, we drop into presence. And this is something I love, and many of you have applied this, and it's so important in Darkroom, and that is the ability to be fully here now, the ability to be fully present. Just to be present with your breath, and every breath, your mindset, the first mindset is I'm not just breathing oxygen. With every breath, I can breathe the energy from the very baseline of creation, the purest essence energy that the Christians may call God, or the scientists call the unified field, or the field of infinite potential, to just, that's what we breathe, that's what we flood through our body. So a changing mindset, just beginning with understanding the magnificence, the absolute magnificence of the human design. And you know what we've been getting this year is that there's such a change in consciousness, such an awakening in our world, that everyone's vibrational fields are changing. So collectively, we are literally moving into a new matrix that my lovely friends, those from the unified realms, call the matrix of magnificence. Do you like that term? The matrix of magnificence. And that's what we're vibrating into collectively. But the vibrational match happens when we understand and experience the magnificence of our own human design. What is within us? What is this matrix within us? And how can we have this matrix of the highest potential that we carry blossom fully? Well, first, change the mindset. Like, for example, the mindset of who is the boss of the system. It's not the monkey mind, it's not the egoic mind, it's not the personality self, it's not the emotional body, it's none of that. Who is really the boss of this system is the energy that gives us life and the energy that breathes us, and that's what we open to feel in each moment. To just be present with the breath, with the willingness to really experience the love and the wisdom and the power of that pure resource, that pure essence energy that is even gifting us this life. So changing mindsets. mindset, and I notice this all the time in the pranic networks. People are always emailing me and they say, my weight won't stabilize. I'm getting skinnier and skinnier. Whereas others, when they're allowing this to happen naturally and organically, are finding the opposite. The more they're being fed by prana, the bigger they're getting. They're not losing weight as they transition. In fact, they're getting stronger, healthier, and putting weight on, which is what happened to me. I had to really change this mindset I had in '93 that said, well, if I'm not taking physical food, of course I'm going to lose weight. So that was an old belief that I had to look at and recode out of. So eventually, I just was able to say, essence, this is your vehicle, this is your body, this is your biosystem. You make me the weight you want me to be. And in 3 weeks, no physical food, I put on 8 kilos of weight. Now, I didn't believe you could do that. Many of you have heard this story before, but I had no idea that this power, this essence within us all was so intelligent and so in control of the biocomputer that when I could fully surrender the weight issue, it would like scan the body and say, yep, too skinny, and in 3 weeks, 8 kilos. Now, but this is the power we carry of this source energy that really is the boss of the biosystem. Made the commitment. I made the commitment before embodiment that I would fully manifest being physically nourished by prana this life. Yep, you getting a yes? Some of you are testing. It is in my blueprint to manifest being fully nourished physically by chi, by prana this life. Yes? Well, for me, I get a yes. So for many people, when they come to darkroom or they come and spend time with us, these are the basics we check. Now, what does that mean? 2 things. And give a gift to Gaia by depending less on her physical resources, which is so helpful for global warming, obviously, and climate change, because look at how much we do to our planet just for food production. Then we also know that this is something we are pre-encoded to begin demonstrating more and more in the West. Yes, the yogis of India have done it for 4,000 years. Yes, the Qigong masters in China have demonstrated this for 6,000 years, but it's relatively new in the West. But the benefits to our bodies from health and so much more when we do look into this are so substantial personally. So here we have some mindset changes. The first one, we never fast. We're not fasting. We eat all the time. I eat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time, but I eat differently, and we're always saying this to people. In our education program, we want you to say that you are eating all the time, but differently. Because that's a stumbling block for people. They think, oh, there are these people who say they're not eating. That's not true. We eat all the time, but we eat differently. So that's the first recode. The second mindset change is that the essence is the boss of this system, and it's this energy, when strong enough, that feeds us. We don't need qi from external sources. We don't need to do what the Qigong masters are doing. We don't need to practice Qigong or tune to Mother Nature qi or any other qi. We have this powerhouse of limitless energy, essence energy within us. We've just got to match frequencies into the channel where it is the strongest, where its pulsation is the strongest. So these are some very simple mindsets. The idea that you've got to lose weight if you're not taking physical food. That's a limited mindset as well. So you'll notice in your journey different mindsets arising within you. And as you do, just be aware of the impact they have on your system. This year, in Darkroom, I have so many Darkroom stories from people who come and, oh, they are so challenged. Because the first thing we have to do is live fully in the now moment. Because when we can be present as present, here's another freedom. We transcend time. We are no longer bound by time. We are no longer limited by the normal constraints of time. So we live in timelessness. And in living in timelessness, we also live in harmony with all of creation. That's another amazing benefit. So this year we had a few people in Darkroom, one man in particular, and she kept hooking into this fasting paradigm. Now, you look at magnetic attraction. How big is the fasting paradigm? It's huge. There's this whole paradigm in the world all about fasting and the benefits of fasting and the benefits of fasting on the health. So we, in the Pranic movement, we have to delete that reality. We do not fast, but he couldn't. And so guess what? Losing weight, losing weight, losing weight. Now, he even had a very strong physical body prana percentage. He should not have been losing that much weight, but he did. Why? Because he kept grabbing and holding I am fasting paradigm reality. So this is something we really have to let go of. We don't fast, we eat all the time, we eat differently. This is a matter of matching frequencies with the source of energy that is in us all, and when it's strong enough, we naturally lose every human hunger in an organic way, so we are then free to be in this world in a different way. Not only that, as our vibrational frequency changes, the law of resonance vibrates us in to a completely different zone of reality. So when I'm traveling, guess what I meet? Amazing people. Amazing people. To me, moving through this world is like living paradise on earth. The only experiences I have in this world are experiences where I'm like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, this world is so beautiful. This planet is so incredible. The people in this world are so amazing. Somebody emailed me today and they said, when I'm in a room with negative people, I leave the room. And I went, wow, what if you just stayed in the room and you came into your heart and you slowed your breath and you saw this love energy spiraling out of your heart chakra, which it does all the time, out through the heart chakra from the higher dimension. And what if you just stayed in that room and silently just said, I love you, 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 I love you. Can you feel it yet? I love you, I love you, I love you. This I love you, it flows through your body and it aligns your cellular structure to the fields of love. And then it flows out through you into the world and it opens all the dimensional doorways to the fields of love. And you end up living in the Shambhala mattress, you end up living in heaven on earth, you end up living in the paradise zone, and all you've got to say is thank you, thank you. Now, along the way, you lose all your appetite and you're not doing this anymore. But it's natural and it's organic and all the work of Joe Dispenza, all the work of Bruce Lipton, all the work of our neuroscientists, even the City Academy, all these beautiful metaphysicians are now basically saying whatever you're going to draw back to yourself. Everyone is frequency matching. So if there's any separation or limitation, that's the zones we're talking in. But when we just come into coherence, and this is the research, heart coherence, the electromagnetic field of the heart. When you come into gratitude, when you come into the loving human personality, self-referring divine self, when you can really feel this pure essence that is breathing you, feel its love, then you come into this heart coherence, the heart and brain connect differently, the electromagnetic signals you're transmitting out change, you can find yourself so well nourished and so taken care of and so loved, and it's so natural and it's so simple and it's so organic, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Whether you're a Christian or an atheist or a Jew or a Buddhist or a scientist, everyone can say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Everyone can say, open the heart and just say, bio-system body, you are a magnificent temple. Okay, I love you, I love you, I love you. Generative system, emotional body. I love you, I love you, I love you. You let me feel. You let me feel peaceful or blissful or joyous or angry or jealous or whatever. I feel, I love you. I love the capability you give me to feel. Mental body. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Connect now. Match your mind, match your mental body with the mind of supreme intelligence. Let me be at one with that flow of wisdom. These are just codes. These are just heart commitments. The commitment of, if it is in my blueprint, this life to be fully pranic, to demonstrate this, then let it happen with joy and ease and grace in the most natural, organic way, so that I can experience the freedom of this union and of this merging and all the gifts that living in an essence-dominated system can give me. I'm ready. Yes? 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 All we got to do is say yes and mean it. You know, because this benevolence, this quantum intelligence is everywhere. And it's listening to us all the time, and it feels our feelings, and it hears our repetitive patterns, and we end up in this biofeedback looping game. So what zone do you want to live in is the question. Are you ready for complete freedom? Complete freedom. No more physical hunger, no more emotional hunger, no more mental hunger, no more spiritual hunger, and just to walk through this world in a state of grace and joy and magic and synchronicity. Are you ready? Yes. 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 Okay. So what's the perfect pathway for you? All you got to do is say, I'm ready. Come on, lay it on. Let me experience the perfect way for me. Not doing any process. You don't have to do a 9-day process or a 21-day process or my process or in the dark room. You don't have to do anything. You just say, yes, 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 I'm ready. And then spend your time cultivating the experience of your pure nature. That's it. Because the trick is time spending. You know, you spend time in silent stillness with an openness to really feel the magnificence of your own design. You can breathe. You can slow the breath right down. You can be very aware of your thoughts. You can code. You can relax. You can just say deeper immersion, pure infusion in this essence ocean. Take me deeper. Infuse all the cells of my body with the purest chi. Fill me with this love. Let me experience this pure love. Let me experience this divine wisdom. Let me experience the power of this pure essence energy I carry that's already enlightened, already pure, already perfect. Let me feel its gifts. I'm ready. Should you guide me? Yes? Yes, yes, yes. Yes. And that is the most magnificent journey, the most beautiful journey, just to say yes to self-knowledge, to really know what we're built for. And we are built for so much. We are built to be free. Okay, so that's me chatting.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit more about weight loss during the process? Because I did
Yeah.
21-day practice in 2001, and then I was never able to really live on prana because I lose a lot of weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, the problem with me was weight loss. So I did the practice in 2001, but I wasn't really able to live on prana due to weight loss, and
Yeah.
I lose weight a lot. I mean, like I can lose 1 kilo a day. I'm very fast in losing and not so fast in gaining weight
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of
You
course I
know,
tried,
this,
and I'm sorry to interrupt. Of course I tried everything, like mindset, changing the mindset, doing
yeah.
meditations. I've done. I've been in Tao Garden a lot because I'm a Tao instructor with Master Chia, and actually we met 18 years ago there. The first time you went there, we met. So I'm struggling with that. So I want to ask you what to do.
I wish I had a magic formula, I really do, but everyone is so unique. And, you know, what I've noticed is, for me, sometimes things happen instantly, and it always happens when I'm done. Like a few years ago, I broke my rib. Yeah, I was boogie boarding, surfing, having a great time in the Australian Ocean, and I finished surfing for the day, and I was lying on the edge of the sand on my boogie board, and a big wave came up and smashed me down, and I broke my rib. And I was so like, that when I researched, it's 6 weeks to heal a rib, yeah? But me, I just went, no way, I'm not going to be in pain for 6 weeks. I'm going to heal this, you know? Because the idea of that was unacceptable. And I learned, because I do angelic toning, I learned that there is a tone that can heal a bone. And so I kept toning low tones into the rib, and it took about 2.5 weeks to heal. I wish it had have taken instantly. I don't know why it didn't, but obviously maybe I don't believe I could heal instantly, but I sped the healing process up quite well. But what happened with my weight gain was I just refused to tolerate that situation anymore. In other words, I was really done. When I went traveling and people would see me, they'd go, oh, well, maybe you are living on prana, but you look like a little extraterrestrial, and you like high cheekbones, big eyes. And you also look like you need a big meal. You need a good meal, girl, because I was under 50 kilos, you know, and if I lost the slightest amount of weight, you know, people would worry about me. And I was tired of this reaction. And I was doing a lot of media work at the time, a lot of negative energy coming my way, and I was still absorbing energy rather than radiating energy. So I'd gone through a lot, trying to put weight on, trying to stabilize the weight. The weight was stable, but I was too skinny, yeah? And eventually I just went, I'm done, I'm so sick of this. I will not spend any energy anymore worrying about this. Come on, Essence, it's your body, your body. You make me the way you want me to be, I'm done. And that's when the weight came on. As I said, 80 kilos in 3 weeks, no physical food. That shocked me. But yet people try this themselves and it doesn't work. And I think maybe they're just not done enough, because all big changes come when I'm done. And see, what people do is they challenge, and because they can't achieve something, they go back to the old way of being, instead of holding the space and saying, no, I am fully pranic. And this is a coding we really invite you to claim. I am fully pranic. All of you. I am fully pranic. We are built as a divine system. We are built with an energy matrix in our body of light where we are naturally fully pranic. But we've had lifetimes and lifetimes of limited conditioning. Lifetimes of, and the bubble, the fasting bubble is so big. The fasting bubble and paradigm is so much bigger than being pranic, the pranic paradigm, especially in the West. So as soon as you start worrying about the weight, you start to go into that fasting paradigm, you go into the doubt game, you go into the lack of trust game, and then you slide and your weight can't stabilize. But one of the things that we get people to do, which we realized was so important, was know where you're at right now. Because let's say you test, my physical body prana percentage is 60%. No. Well, okay, now you know it's less than 60%, yeah? So what's going to happen if you stop taking physical food? Your body is going to go into fasting mode for 40%. 60% of your nourishment is coming from chi, from essence, from prana, because of your lifestyle. But the rest, you need to supplement with physical food. So let's say you do a 21-day process or a 9-day process or 11-day process, and people think, magic wand, miracle, and now I'm going to be nourished by prana, which is not going to happen unless you're already vibrating at 100%. Now, if you're at 98% or 95% and you, because of how you live your life, and you do a process, that vibration can be enough to push you over and lock you in just by doing the process, if you're close already. But if you're still at 50% or 40% or 60% or 70%, then of course you won't be able to stabilize your weight because your body is in fasting mode for the differential. Does this make sense?
It does.
So that's what, yeah. So we say to people, before you even begin, in our online series, the free series, in video 3, we take you through the testing at the end of the video to find out where you're at today. And that's the first thing. I think there's 2 things to look at, okay, in the beginning. One, your motivation. Why are you doing this? Are you curious? You know, nearly 30 years ago, I was meeting people who would say to me, I want to be the first person living on prana in Romania. It's like, really? That's your motivation? Well, that's a motivation coming out of the mind or the ego. What about that your motivation, your incentive is because you want to experience union and harmony and oneness with pure nature? What if that becomes your motivation? This ascension into an ascended state of true unity consciousness where there is no egoic self anymore, there is no higher self, lower self, personality self, divine self, where that's gone because you are operating as an integrated whole. Now, when you're in that motivation, and that occurs, you naturally, organically, the essence vibration becomes stronger, your physical body prana percentage becomes higher, and you find the weight is stable, you're not losing weight, you're being nourished by love, because that's what it is, it's love. Like we know in the Western world how many women eat virtually nothing, but they've got a lot of extra weight because it's an emotional body reality. It's a protective thing. Maybe they were raped or abused, and so they've gone in this, it's not safe to be beautiful anymore, or whatever. And that protective energy of fat goes around their body, even though they're on a minimum diet. That's so interesting. I know from darkroom. I might have a guy coming in who doesn't want to lose weight because he's skinny, and he'll lose weight because he's worried about losing weight. And I have another guy comes in who doesn't eat or drink for the 9 days, and he puts on 3 kilos. What's the differential? Mindset, relax, not worrying, you know? And so I would love to be able to say there's a set formula, but I can only say in my life, when I code for something, when I program for something, when I'm really done with that old way of being, that's when the change is instant or pretty quick. So are you done, or are you still playing? You know, or are you, I'd like to do this, but I'm losing weight. I've lost another kilo. I've lost another kilo. Or are you, look, Edmonds, this is your body. Make me the way you want me to be. And what if you just said, if I'm the perfect way Essence wants me to be, I'm the perfect weight Essence wants me to be. I'm the perfect weight Essence wants me to be. I'm the perfect weight Essence wants me to be. And in that coding, you're rewiring your neural pathways. And as you know, the neurons that fire together, the wire together, and suddenly you're in a different brain coherence, and you're living in a different zone, in a different reality where these things become natural. Yeah? So you have to watch this a lot in the pranic journey, because it's so easy to buy into status quo limitations. People might see you like they used to look at me and go, oh, she looks like a little ET, she needs a good meal. You know? And it's like, oh, I didn't like that, you know? And I could feel it in my whole body. I was really little. Now I'm bigger, you know, and it's better for me, you know? But it really took, for me, I was done with the energy worrying about it anymore. It was like surrender to that purer part of me that had the power to create the change, because it really is the boss of the system anyway. So you give command of the biosystem back to the true boss. For example, I surrender every cell, every atom, every molecule of this system back to my pure essence nature. This is your system. Guide me, feed me, nourish me, love me. It's your system. I surrender back to oneness with you. Yeah? Yes? 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 Because when you say yes, this quantum benevolence can go, yay, let's deliver it. Because we're not alone, we're part of this matrix of one. You know, we're all connected in this web of one. This web of one is everywhere. This baseline vibrates through everything, and it listens to our hearts, and it listens to our repetitive thinking. And if we want to play the doubt game, we'll be given a lot of things to doubt about. Or we can just surrender and ask for real experiences, you know? Let me feel the purest of, you know, every breath you take, you breathe, you drink from the purest currents of love, from the very baseline of creation itself. I don't just just breathe oxygen, I don't just breathe chi, I breathe, I drink from the purest currents of love. And this love feeds me, and this love flows through my body, and this love flows through my atoms from the higher dimensions, and this love nourishes me and keeps me the perfect life. Yes?
Yes.
That's all I can say. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You know, I really have to add to you all that we are all so unique, and this is such an individual journey, and people's codes of limitation from all our different embodiments are really unique as well. So just because something works really well for me doesn't mean it works for you, but I do know with coding we have to have heart and clarity, but it has to also come from here. Hi. Hello.
Thank you. Hi, Jasmuheen. First of all, I've really appreciated your podcasts and books. It's been a fascinating journey, but a short one with the whole idea of being a breatharian. I've had some experiences with defying reality. When I was 24, I was diagnosed with a terminal cancer, and I changed my life in just about every way that one could imagine, and a lot of that involved separating people from my life that didn't believe that was possible. So if people looked at me and saw me as dying or saw me as sick, they just weren't in my life anymore, and I surrounded myself with people that saw that possibility. And so in this journey, I'm challenged with the socialization of this. When I'm out in my own wilderness, I'm not hungry. I don't feel the need to eat or even drink, depending on what I'm doing. But when I come back to the real world, I run a bunch of companies and organizations, and first thing I run is a hamburger, a vegetarian hamburger, but I feel this strong emotional need around people, and when other people are eating, I have a big struggle with that. So I'm really curious what you suggest about how to still be a social leader, a connector, and in groups without, and still be on this path.
Yeah, no, this is another interesting journey that we all have to go through. And what I realized is I just had to train people to be with me differently because they had their normal social norms, and I couldn't, it's, for me, I hate to use the word boring, but I used to feel like I don't want to sit with another group of people watching everybody eat dinner while I'm just having a cup of tea. And I realized I'd just rather socialize differently with people. So I trained people. Like I'd say, let's meet at the beach for sunset. Would you like to watch the sunset with me? And so friends would come down and we'd just sit there and go, oh my God, this is amazing. Maybe we'd have a big walk on the beach together, and then we'd just flop and go into meditation. Then we'd open eyes, and that amazing light that you get at sunrise and sunset. And so I used to have social connections or social dates with people, just doing, let's go for a walk in the mountains this weekend, or let's go to a movie, or hey, there's a concert I really want to see, or there's a play at the theatre. I'd make it exciting and enticing and doing something I'd want to do and they'd want to do, either with individuals or as a group, and they'd do it. And then they got social hits with me and a social dose with me, and I got my social dose of being with them, people I love, but it was never around food. So I just trained people to socialize with me differently. That was all, So I don't know how you can apply that in business, because I know in business world there's a lot of deals done in lunchtime and restaurants and playing golf maybe or whatever. But maybe you can have deals done at the local spa. Hey, I'll shout you for a massage. Come and have a massage with me, Or hey, let's have, I don't know, a sauna. Or maybe that's inappropriate these days. I don't know. We make it in a sauna with somebody, who knows. But you find a different way to socialize, but it's got to be in a way that's fun, and then they'll do it.
So just kind of one more question on extending this. So if somehow humanity made the jump and we didn't need to eat anymore at all, how do you see our social behaviors and patterns as a humanity as a whole?
It's going to be really, really different. Like I know from because I've been telepathic most of my life, and when I went, that just came through from my grandmother's line, you know, just I've been a sensitive empath, like many of you, no biggie. And when I converted to being nourished by prana, boy, did that increase big time. And I started to connect a lot more in the multi-dimensional zones with beings who are in this advanced stage. In other words, they live in planetary systems where that's done. They have a different digestive system because they're not digesting food, and they were us. Like there's studies and tests done on DNA from star beings that have crash landed, and they've been able to check their DNA, and it's human. So that means we came from the stars. We have space being DNA, or the space beings have human DNA, and there's a commonality there. So there are beings who've been where we are now and have transcended beyond that by letting, well, one, they applied universal law, and two, they allowed their essence, their pure nature, to dominate the biosystem. So they started to operate in a much higher level of consciousness and naturally lost their hungers along the way. But not all of them are food free. Some take physical food just for pleasure, but it's more like a materialization of things, you know. It's not that most of them don't go through the growing or the planting on the planet, and none of them do the killing at all. There's no killing or taking of life, of animal life. So I think we have to look at step by step. Like all around the world now, there's a huge increase in veganism. It's amazing. And people are becoming vegan for health reasons, even though they still like to eat a little bit of meat. So we're going from a strongly meat-based society, understanding that a heavier diet can create a lot more diseases. People are going gluten-free, they're going sugar-free, they're going raw, they're going vegan, they're going more natural, they're going organic, all of that. So step by step. So as we go through all these changes, as society changes, all we want in the pranic movement is to go, hey, you can be vegetarian, vegan, or pranic, no big deal. Yeah, no big deal, whatever. And yeah, this one's pranic, and they might eat once a year, or they might eat once a month, or they might have a board meeting or a business meeting once a month, and they'll have a salad or fruit, or they'll do something then. You know, we just want it to be an acceptable option, that we have different resources we can tap into, and the free energy of essence of prana is the best resource because it's free and we all have it. And when it's strong enough, then we have more freedom of choice. So there's a natural progression that needs to happen on an educational level, as we said in the video in the beginning. You know, 1,000 people with Joe Dispenza, they're ready for that. But 40 people at the Pranic Festival, well, we're beginning. But we be living examples, and we demonstrate this freedom, and we look healthy, and we're happy, and we're in balance, and we're humming, and we're not judging anyone. Oh, you shouldn't be eating meat. Oh, you shouldn't be. Oh, you know that. When you're in unity consciousness, you realize there's no need to judge anyone or to alienate yourself from anyone, but you also realize that you want to spend your time wisely. So I'm going to play the game a little bit differently, you know?
Well, thank you for your courage and for pioneering a new vision for us.
We're all doing it, aren't we? We're all doing it, step by step.
We have the last question from...
Microphone, please. Hello, Jazz. I'm Alessandro. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Very good. I'm experiencing your meditation that I learned in the dark room, you know, this last dark room. And I'm so happy that you talk about the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, because after the dark room with you, I discovered him, his work, and I'm practicing his meditation, and are so powerful. And I do both your and the meditation of Joe Dispenza, and then I think it's so good to hear you about talking about him, because I wondered to say what think Jasmine about the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and you're talking about him now, and then I'm so happy to that you know him, because I think it's a very great man. And not just this, I want to say this and say thank you. I love you, love you, love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you know, I can't encourage you to share what you love. I can't encourage you enough. If you find somebody doing great work and you love it and it's changed your life, then share it. And it might touch your friends or it might not touch your friends. I'm always sending little links to this YouTube video or
Yeah.
in my mailing list. People are on our mailing list, obviously, and our newsletter. We always list great videos we've seen, good things on Gaia TV that you can watch. I don't know if you guys subscribe to Gaia TV, but that's brilliant. Yeah, and people are doing good work. Nassim Harameem's work was brilliant. In the 80s, it was Deepak Chopra. He's still around doing good work. There's so many people whose research is now matching what we're demonstrating. And that's important. You know, we need a good educational model so that being nourished by prana becomes an everyday choice and people understand how it's possible and why it's possible, and that it really is about matching frequency, and we have the power to spend time in a way that changes our personal keynote. So we meditate, we do the things we do in darkroom, we live the lifestyle we teach you in darkroom that we wrote a book about. And that changes your keynote and it drops you back to pure nature. So pure nature dominates the system and you lose your hungers. And the more simple formula we have, the more we can share each other's research, especially when it all connects in, then the easier this transition is that will be for everyone, you know? So thank you. I'm glad you love Joe Dispenza, and I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to all the pioneers in the world and all the people who are prepared to think outside the box and who are open to solutions that allow us to live in that energy of health and happiness and harmony within ourselves and with all life. And I think that's a good goal, yeah? When
spirituality and science unified, we become supernatural.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Yeah. Well, no, we become natural.
Supernatural.
No, natural.
Natural.
Real nature comes out. Real nature. Because how we live in the world is not natural. We live so far away from pure nature. You know, that the guy who did the 2040 documentary, who did that sugar pill, he found that most people who are trying to live healthy are consuming up to 42 spoons of sugar a day because nearly everything is loaded up with sugar. And that's triggering all sorts of diseases. That's amazing. So even people trying to eat healthy, bread has sugar, so much things have sugar in them, and it's too much for the body. So that's unnatural to consume so much sugar. It's unnatural to consume so much processed food. It's unnatural to live so disconnected from true nature that we suffer, that we get disease, that we're unhappy, that we're lonely, that we end up people having problems with suicide and cancer and diabetes. That's unnatural. What's natural is to be strong, fit, healthy, vibrant, happy, compassionate, living in harmony with ourselves and with each other. That's natural, not supernatural. Natural.
Natural.
Yes.
Ciao.
That's yes, natural. Real natural.
Real natural. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
This festival, everyone, sure you will. Many beautiful people. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. See you soon. Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao, Bella.
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao.